What's up, guys? Welcome back to Revelation 11:27, where we speak the truth and nothing but the truth, and where we get some clarity, right? Because with clarity, it's easy to move forward. Right? With clarity, you could just continue through life without any regrets, without any attachments. You could just enjoy yourself. I mean, you should always enjoy yourself, whether you have clarity or not, right? Because sometimes clarity is obtained once we leave whatever situation we're at. See what the energy is, see what Spirit wants us to know, what Spirit wants us to learn about today. Okay. It says, I can admit when something has run hit its course. And I said it with a TH because this is the death card. So maybe there's an ending of something, right? Maybe an ending to a certain stage in your life, an ending to a karmic cycle, right? An ending to a long awaited ending to whatever situation that you were going through, and manage Two of Pentacles. And this death is bringing in balance, right? The balance that you need in your life, because you can't always give to people that are just taking, right? You can't just always leave yourself in the back burner to be happy God knows when. No. Right? You need balance in your life. And that comes with everything, with money, with peace, with love, with harmony, with passion. That's all balance. And if one thing is lower than the other, of course you're going to have an imbalance. But that is why the death is here, right? Because you recognize that and you're allowing for whatever needs to end. And you're okay with that. I am free to follow whatever inspires me, of course, because you have that passion, right? The Ace of Wands is the beginning of a new passionate adventure, a new passionate journey. And that is also bringing in the balance, right? Not only did this death end the things that needed to be ended, but it's also allowing you to start on a new adventure, right? To go somewhere else new that can bring in that balance that you need in your life, right? That inspires you, that makes you feel creative, enthusiastic. And the world, guys, I see how I've come full circle. And of course, that's the whole point of a death and rebirth, right? You let your old self die, meaning like your old consciousness, your old way of thinking, your old personality traits that were not serving you any good, and you're letting all that die off, right? To bring in that new change that you need, to bring in that new consciousness, to bring in that abundance that you need. And all that was made possible because you allowed for that death to happen. Now you have the world here. Let's go a little bit more in depth in this energy. Let's see what we should know about. What else do we need to know about this spirit? Maybe at the place that you were at, you couldn't allow yourself to be inspired. You couldn't be creative, right? You couldn't follow your dreams because maybe you were surrounded by people who didn't support that. Right? We got the Four of Swords in reverse. Restlessness, burnout. That is meaning that it's time for you to take some time for yourself and sit back, right? Instead of just doing, because maybe you need that. Maybe you need that to gain some clarity, because you can't have clarity when you're constantly on autopilot, right? Waking up, going to work, and then you wake up the next morning and do the same thing. No, you need some time to collect yourself, right? And to see what's working for you, what isn't working for you, because at the end of the day, they'll only allow you to burn out, and it will prevent you from making progress. Maybe you're waiting to reunite, right, with someone who inspires you, right? Who is emotionally stable, who is kind, who is intuitive, who is compassionate. And you're someone who's a natural born leader, right? You have a vision of where you want to be, where you want to go. An entrepreneur. The King of Wands here. You have that fiery personality. And maybe this death, right, this death is allowing you to get away from people that you may have had around you that were just deceptive, right? That were being sneaky behind your back, that were lying and stealing. Maybe they even betrayed you. But that is good that you are allowing whatever needs to die off, right? Because when we try and hold on to things, when we try and just glue ourselves to people, places, and things, that's when the universe comes in and it forces us to change. Maybe you've realized that, because I don't feel like this is the first time this death is coming into your life. But this needs to happen so you could be able to completely remove yourself from these people that were hindering your success, with or without you knowing. I mean, what else do we need to know, Spirit? And guys, remember, take what resonates, leave what doesn't for someone else. We got the Page of Wands. So yeah, that is the new beginning that you're following, right? You're going somewhere where you're going to feel passionate. The Wands has everything to do with the fire. Okay? See how the girl's excited there, throwing her wand in the air because she's in control of her energy. She knows what she wants to do. And she has that fire inside, that passion to follow what's hers, right? Yeah, and she wants to give and receive with someone, right? She wants to give her love, receive love. Maybe that person even wants to share the wealth with their money with the other and create something new, right? Create business with the money here, right? You want to give and receive, where the love and everything is reciprocated. Maybe that's something that you weren't used to in the past. Maybe you were just giving the whole time. Maybe you weren't even attracted to that person. Maybe you deserve better. And that's good that you're choosing yourself and accepting this death and admitting when something has run its course. Admitting when it is the end of something. That shows self-love. It shows respect for yourself and for where you want to be. Because why would you want to be at a place where you know it has already ran its course? Why would you want to be at a place trying to fix something that can't be fixed? No. That is when you use your skills as a magician. That is when you pay attention to the signs. That's when you accept things and know that you deserve better than what you were having before, you know? I feel like I dropped something. Oh yeah. I dropped the Page of Cups. Not only is this beginning going to be a fiery beginning, right? With a lot of passion and a lot of excitement, but it's also going to be a new love beginning. Maybe you want to give this person a little love gesture, a little love message, a little love offer, and that is fine because you feel that passion. And when you use your heart and your mind together, and you use that fire to ignite whatever it is that you need to do, that is how you can be successful in that of which you're trying to accomplish. And to me, it looks like you're trying to get a new beginning with someone else, and that is amazing. right? Because you know the importance of love. You're over all of the arguments. You're over all of the chaos, right? You see these people for truly who they are, just vultures, right? Trying to step over each other to try and get someone else's fortune, right? To try and steal other people's money, to try and steal other people's ideas. And they just want to step over each other like the karmics that they are, right? And whoever gets to the top is going to be seen as the winner. But no, right? You see what's going on, and that is why you're deciding to walk away, right? Hanging around these people has caused you to burn out energetically and physically and mentally with all these lies and illusions, right? The moon here. Making you see something that's not really there. Instead, they're submerging you in a water full of their lies, right? And we have to be able to understand these things so we could also see the light, right? We have to be able to understand the dark so we could understand the light. And not everyone functions in the light. That is why it's so important to be aware of your energy, who you exchange energies confirmation, who you exchange your energies with, so you don't become depleted at the end of the day. Because that's what these people do, right? They don't have any connection to God. They don't have any connection to the universe. They can't come up with ideas confirmation. So what do? They deplete you out of your own energy, right? Causing lies and illusions. Thank you, Spirit. So you could just feel confused. So you could feel stuck. And so you could continue to allow them to deplete you out of your own energy. What else do we need to know, Spirit? The Tower, yeah. This change is inevitable, right? This change is going to hit you, and for a good reason, right? It's hitting you so you could accept this death, and so you could go where your heart truly desires. So you could go follow your passions, right? So you could go follow your heart, and so you could be at peace and tranquility with someone that makes you feel like that. And so you can get away from all those people, right? Now, the Tower is also hitting these people's lives, right? And they may not like it, of course, because they're so used to receiving from you. They're so used to stealing your creativity, stealing your light, that without that, they are nothing. And maybe some people are going to have to move. Some people are going to have to change residence, you know, depending on how much evil they've done, depending on where their lies have gotten them, right? Some people even lose their jobs because the way they received their job was unfair, right? It was through manipulation. That is the justice that we need, right? And look, we started the reading with the Four of Swords in reverse, right? A time of, it's supposed to be a time of resting, but, you know, you've been restless this whole time. And maybe you've reached a point of burnout. But of course, there's going to be a burnout when there's chaos around, right? But this death, and you admitting and you being truthful with yourself and knowing what has to happen moving forward, right? That is giving you the ability to get yourself out of the situation. And you know what you have to do, right? I'm not going to sit here and give you step by step on who you need to stop talking to. No, you should know by now. You should know the people that are sneaky, that are just fake around you, that don't show you any love, you know? And then we're ending the reading with the Four of Swords. Upright, meaning that because you're accepting this death, because you're moving on, right? Now you can rest. Now you can rest knowing that you don't have all of this baggage in you, right? Because you need to rest, especially after being restless this whole time. You need to take some time for yourself and hug yourself and give yourself that love and nourishing that you need so you could be able to go on this new journey, right? With no baggages, with no issues, with no problems, with nothing ever blocking you again. Okay? Congrats.